Hey, and welcome. We are three families who come together to help each other grow in our faith, family, homesteading, and whatever else life throws our way. Join us on this journey as we sow and grow together.
So here are some get to know you questions that I figure each one of us can draw.
What ministries are you involved in?
So I do worship, and really that's about it right now.
Child rearing.
Negative.
That's a big one, yeah.
You minister to all your friends and the younger
Don't
people.
just think inside the building.
Right.
There's a lot of things outside the building.
No.
A lot more.
No. Just love people, that's it.
Real youth ministry.
Y'all need to stop that.
Child rearing. Yep.
Mentoring, discipleship.
I don't feel like I do any of those things except for with my children, so.
Yeah, with us.
Yeah.
In our group. We bring valuable things to the table.
What ministry are we not involved in?
That's okay. Living Life Ministry, and I think this is probably where you guys need to realize the parts that you do. Is there's so much. I mean, there's marital,
Yes.
youth,
Brothers,
young adults,
yeah.
women's ministry,
Yes.
family ministry, and then of course the discipleship. The first ministry is the discipleship of our children and raising of them.
Teaching.
Mm-hmm. And then their ministries pull us into more ministries.
Yes.
So you've got praise and worship,
Yeah.
and all the things. Some of them are old enough to drive now.
I'm sitting here trying to think. There's so many things we've done, and I'm trying to think, what category would I put that in or this in?
He's making lists. Don't just move on.
I remember my pet peeve.
Clutter.
Yes, I like structure.
So he
I like
clutters
being organized. Everything has to go into a category.
Folders now.
I like you. I don't like you.
Oh, goodness.
Thursdays and Saturdays.
Just having people at our house, I guess we'll call it hospitality. We like that. Having people, which you all, I mean, everybody's kind of, if we're preparing food, I feel like it's all part of that. And just loving people. We are raising children also, and mostly just the life stuff, having kids. And
That's a lot.
Somebody asked us one time, and after it was all said and done, I was like, "What are we in?" And I got on, started making a list on the phone. Yes, a list. But I went through, and there was like 12 or 14 different ministries just real quickly that I went through, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize God had us stirred in that many different areas."
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are regular, some of them are.
That's why I think it's important that it isn't. And I mean, it's important to serve, when you are in a building and helping out and everything. But I really think that Living Life Ministry, it's just being moldable to be used where God needs you in that moment.
The more you're willing to, the more He plugs you into those areas, and the more flexible you are to help. This couple is getting ready to get a divorce. This couple that's this individual that's suicidal. There's so many different.
This person needs help being moved.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a multitude of different things. And I think as you're being shifted in all of it, you realize that that's the flow that I think we're all supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just saying, Living Life Ministry.
If a lot of people are able to work in that way, it doesn't fall on just like a pastor or a church minister that's hired, but it's less on just one person trying to be everything. It's all of us.
I thought we already pulled one.
Favorite verse?
I do not have a favorite. I know what kicked us off as far as wholeheartedly following the Lord in the sense of reshifting our focus out from outward to inward into our home. The fathers, the hearts of the children the hearts of the fathers.
Malachi.
Malachi. That one always popped in my head initially, but there's been so many since then.
I think I have a favorite verse, and then I have a favorite book, and it just really is whatever one God is speaking to me, like in that moment at that time of God and I. And I'm like, this is my favorite book. And I'm like, I get to the next one, I'm like, this is my favorite book.
Yeah, you said that yesterday, the day before.
Right. I was gonna say this season right now, Colossians has been a huge. So I can't give a verse, but I can definitely give a book. Like I can't even give it like a chapter. Just like Colossians in general is probably my favorite right now. But tomorrow it could be Joshua. Who knows?
Revelation.
I don't know. I really like all the genealogy stuff, the books.
That's like the part that I'm like, whoa.
Me too. They kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Is it the learning?
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder about that.
I have found more value in those going through the Old Testament last year, a chunk of it. Like, I'm want a challenge to myself. I want to see the genealogies and be like, oh, I remember that person. Oh, I remember that. Jogging my mind hearing those names. Because the first time I remember going through the Bible and reading those, I'm like crying my eyelids open to try to read it all. Colossians, I had that one verse as my screensaver. I'm like, I could do that because it's right here in front of me. But yeah, I don't know that I have. It's just whatever I'm reading at the moment is my favorite. But this one, the Colossians 3:14-15, that love is supreme, must flow through each of these virtues. Love becomes the mark of true maturity. Let your heart be always guided by the peace of the Anointed One who called you to peace as part of his one body, and always be thankful. I feel like I have to keep rereading that. Like, love is my priority. It's the mark of maturity. And I feel like he's growing all of us in that. And then peace and being thankful. It's like those things that I always need to be remembering.
For me, I don't necessarily have a favorite. I think that there's been, in different seasons of life, ones that I've clung to more. Like, when I was younger, it was 1 Timothy 4, let nobody look down on you because of your youth, and, that sort of thing. And then as you get older, like Isaiah 43, when you pass through the waters, I'll be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Just like comfort when you're in those tough times and stuff. So I don't really have a favorite. I just have those that speak to me more in a certain season of life.
So for me, it's similar. It's hard to say that certain ones are my favorite, but ones that stand out to me, first of all, John 17, the high priestly prayer of Jesus. I cannot get through that without sobbing my eyes out. When you actually think about all the words that he's praying there for his disciples and then for every believer ever to come. That was it's a really beautiful section. And then a certain one that was important to me during a big transition in my life was the book of Job, which a lot of people don't actually like the book of Job, but it became one of my favorites during a really tough time. And just when God comes down and talks to Job, and he's humbling him in that moment, but there's so much wisdom. I could just revisit those words over and over and over again and just remember that I am very small and he is very big, and I can't even begin to understand all the things that he understands and the way that he weaves everything together. And to just find comfort in the fact that God is the orchestrator of all.
Favorite book, non-Bible? Great.
Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Yeah, probably. Yes, probably.
Must be a man thing.
I was just thinking. I wasn't thinking about me talking. Yeah, Grimm's Fairy Tales. Probably. Good and dark.
They're dark.
I like
Stories to tell our children at bedtime.
Oh, can't wait.
If you want them to come into bed with us because they're terrified and having nightmares.
Gotta give Chris something to therapy.
Right? As they get to do things. I have a lot of books that were meaningful different times of my life. The Chronicles of Narnia, I read it so many, all 7 books. I read them so many times as a kid. I reread them as an adult and just cried through the whole set. And now we're starting, to read them with the kids, and they don't understand why I'm But really, I like those a lot. There are so many books I like, but that's probably the biggest one.
Chronicles of Narnia was good. Lord of the Rings was good. I like anything that's kind of history related. So anything that's political or just history related, I'm usually into. So.
Chronicles of Narnia definitely is very good, but I'm also a sucker for classic romance novels. So like Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. Yeah, that's my cup of tea.
Red Branch. Irish folk.
Been chewing on this one the whole time I was around. I'm like, I don't know why. Because I love reading. I'd probably have to say this series. I want to say it's the Safe Haven series, but it's by Hannah Alexander. It was the first book series when I stopped reading secular things, and which is a story all in itself. It was the first time I was opened up to a Christian author that wasn't the Bible, and it was just a beautiful getaway. It was like a medical suspense. It was like a 10-book series, and it was really good because it was the first time I got that escape and getaway, but God was still center even in my escape and getaway. So I really enjoyed that a lot. So it's kind of got a special spot in my heart.
Getting to know you.
Oh.
Remember.
Oh, that was awesome.
For me,
Jesus, I was like, that's what I say. Keep it in. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, that's not how that works.
Squat down.
you affected
My eyes
the
are fuzzy.
focus.
I'm working on it here, y'all.
It's just that's not me this time. Oh, you had it. You went past it. There you go.
Right there.
Just lean.
Is it crooked?
Is it crooked?
No, I can lean.
I can fix it.
I'm leaning. I'm good.
Yeah, like it needs.
I know, our way, right?
I shouldn't look over. I'm like,